Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys had a great night tonight. Hope you are enjoying some XFL as well. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I also do XFL content in my excuse me in my Discord, which has been absolutely amazing. Looking like this week's going to be another great week for XFL. It's been phenomenal. Hopefully everything goes right tomorrow, but yeah. All of these posts get posted on this subreddit right here called DF Sports right here. You can find my post. My username is Shook. People talk strategy here. You can ask me questions. I will always respond to you. Stuff like that. So definitely check that out if that's something you're interested in. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. So definitely, if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, like ask questions, contest selection, stuff like that, or if you just don't feel like commenting on Reddit and you have a question, Twitter will be the second best option to get a hold of me. But Reddit definitely going to be your fastest way to get a response from me. But Twitter is also okay. So let's take a look at my lineups from tonight. So XFL is probably going to cash. I'm chopping right now because I only had, I believe, 3 players from the first game, but I can't show you my lineup because it doesn't have players locked yet. But it should be a great day with XFL. Should be a good day overall. Also, cash some Call of Duty. We also have people playing esports in the Discord. Like I said, link will be down below. Just going to be a great day overall. And then hopefully tomorrow we slide into the cash with XFL, the full cash. My PGA lineup's going well. NBA went great. I went with Maxi, Devontae Graham, Habadou Diallo, Marvin Bagley, Joel Embiid, Anthony Edwards, Jeremy Sochan, and Tari Eason. So, the core that I had for today was Devontae Graham. He was a free square, but he absolutely smashed. Hamidou Diallo, he absolutely smashed. I don't know how he doesn't have a flame going over 6x. Jeremy Sochan, he smashed too. Once again, don't know how he doesn't have a flame for going for 6x. And then Tari Eason was also a core play for me. He absolutely broke the slate. If you didn't have Tari Eason, you were not cashing. Also, once we got news that Marvin Bagley was starting, I was very, very high on him. Once again, check out Reddit. I will post updates once we get news, stuff like that, because the slate does change by the time this video comes out and the slate locks. So being on Reddit is definitely going to be an advantage, in my opinion. So then I rounded out my lineup, obviously, with Tyrese Maxey, Marvin Bagley, Joel Embiid, Anthony Edwards. I mean, these two guys, man, these two guys just piss me off. You guys have no idea how much Joel Embiid and Anthony Edwards piss me off for daily fantasy sports. Joel Embiid had like 18 fantasy points in the first half. Luckily he turned it around, but I don't understand how he just doesn't rebound the ball. I really struggle to understand. Um, some games will go for 20 rebounds. Some games will go for 5. But he made up for it with the assist. Luckily, salvaged the second half. And Anthony Edwards, in a fast-paced game, this game was obviously the clear highest total on the slate. One of the best environments for DFS, and he also had like 15 fantasy points at half, I want to say. Luckily, once again, he had a good second half, but could have been much, much, much better. But not going to complain about a great night overall. Also, trying to mention if there were some GPP plays that I liked that we went over today. Not really. Like, I don't think so. Also, one thing I was debating on was Trey Jones or Tyrese Maxey. Luckily, I picked right there. Got that right for once. There wasn't. I don't think there was any like GPP plays that like I was really high on today. I think today was just a very, very chalk day that I felt like was pretty good chalk. Kind of kicking myself not going to Harden after I said in my video yesterday that I preferred Harden to Embiid, but nothing I can do there. Kind of shocked Blake Wesley got 5%, but I guess that's fine. Kevin Herter absolutely nuked the slate. I was high on Bam Adebayo. I guess that counts. A lot of people in the Discord asked me about him. Definitely did like him quite a bit. I don't think there was anything else. So yeah, going to be a great day overall. Kyle Anderson is just I play this guy. I believe it was here, and he just busts. And I fade, and he goes for like 50. But when I play him, when I play him in a smash spot against the Lakers in 35 minutes, averages 0.6 fantasy points per minute. But when I fade, when he's popular, 50 bombs, triple double. I don't get it, man. But let's go over the slate. So I have not looked at this slate yet. So this is going to be a first look. Me seeing the pricing, I skimmed over some stuff, but I haven't really fully dived in. So bear with me here. Gonna have to monitor some injury news. Gonna have to also figure out what starting lineups are going to be based on that injury news, because there's a lot of stuff up in the air with Utah's lineup, with I believe Washington. No, I know who's gonna start for Washington, but with who else? I believe I know who else will start for pretty much every other team. But let's go over the slate. So we have Simons, we have Nurk out, we have obviously Winslow out. So Dame's just doing everything for the team right now. You're gonna have to spend money somewhere. Right now, I do like Giannis as my favorite spend up on the slate, but Dame definitely a close second behind him. It's a good spot. No Simons, no Nurk, so the usage is going to be absolutely through the roof. He's probably going to play close to 40 minutes. I mean, what's not to like about Dame? My only concern is there definitely is risk for a blowout. Orlando is just bad. So, like Dame, only risk blowout, but I think he looks good. Jeremy Grant has turned things around of late, also playing pretty big minutes. I think he seems like a relatively safe play to me, but I don't want to lock up too many early spots on this slate. I think Cam Reddish, Thibault, these two will start. I think they're both okay values. I do prefer Reddish to Thibault. My only concern here is I think he might go a little bit over-owned after the last game, but she'll play around 30 minutes with no Simons. He's an okay point per minute guy, but definitely don't expect this kind of game from him again, but I think he's an okay value play. I think Thibault's okay, but once again, I prefer Reddish, Eubanks, Watford. These two, they'll split the center minutes. These two are the most annoying players to roster in DFS, but they're both okay. And then I'll mention him again. Nobody played Shaden Sharp last slate. He was like 0.8% owned, and I mentioned him as a very, very sneaky GPP dart. He smashed, ended with the flame. So I think with no Simons, he's probably going to play 25 to 30 minutes. Just a tournament dart, but he does have the upside to break slates. Like, he's a pretty good point per minute guy, and he's not afraid to chuck the ball when he's out there. Pretty aggressive offensively as well. So I like Shaden Sharp for GPPs tomorrow. And I think that'll do it for Portland. Let's move on to Orlando. So we have Franz, questionable. I guess this is the other team that I don't know what they'll do with their starting lineup. Like, I know they started Suggs in the second half. Do they go to Suggs? I don't know. Do they go bigger? Okiki's been out of the rotation, I believe. Has he been injured or out of the rotation? He's been in the G League. So I don't think they're going to go there. So my guess, Jalen Suggs moves. They could start Cole Anthony. I don't know. Not the best matchup. You guys know what I'm going to say here. Banchero, fine GPP play. Wendell Carter Jr., fine GPP play. Marco Fultz, fine GPP play. Cole Anthony probably plays around 30 minutes. I think he's solid. I think Jalen Suggs, if he starts, looks like a pretty good value play. He'll also be pretty productive. His minutes will go up as well. So I like Suggs if he starts. Still fine off the bench. And I think Cole is solid. And then if they do like a bigger lineup with like Bull, then I'll make updates. We'll monitor things, stuff like that. I don't know if they would do that though. We'll see. But not too much on Orlando that I like. Pretty much just the guards there for me. On to Charlotte. So I assume this game is going to be, might be a little bit popular. I really don't know. I know Memphis is going to get a boatload of ownership, but no LaMelo. PJ Washington will be back. I mean, Terry's going to lead the way offensively. But he's been bad with no LaMelo, but he's been chalked this late and he's busted. He's been chalked this late and he's busted. I don't think anyone's going to play Terry Rozier tomorrow. Pretty bad matchup, but I think he's a good spot for a bounce back candidate at low ownership. Kelly Oubre, I don't know what they're doing here. He's playing 40 minutes a game. Why did his price barely go up? Good rebounder, good scorer, probably going to shoot the ball 20 plus time. I still think he's a pretty solid play at this price tag. I don't know if the Nets give up a ton of threes, though. I'd have to look at that later. PJ, no interest. Hayward, no interest. Really good spot for Mark Williams. I think he's a fine to solid play at that price. Dennis Smith Jr. probably plays mid-20s minutes. Okay option, but I prefer DeLon Wright for around the same price. And JT Thor will go back to the bench now with PJ Washington back. So not too much interest there. Let's move on to Brooklyn. So you guys know I've been hammering Brooklyn every single video. Sadly, I fear people are going to be on Brooklyn tomorrow. Hopefully they aren't. But I've been extremely high on these Brooklyn Nets for the past like 3 videos, and they've been absolutely smashing every slate. They have been getting blown out a lot. That's the only thing keeping them from absolutely nuking slates. But they're running basically a 7-man rotation right now. You're seeing huge minutes for Bridges. Spencer Dinwiddie is playing the entire second half. He literally does not leave the court in the second half. You're seeing huge minutes for Cam Johnson. So I like all these Brooklyn Nets. I like Bridges. I really like Dinwiddie. I do prefer Dinwiddie to Bridges. I like Claxton quite a bit in a phenomenal matchup. I like Cameron Johnson even at this price with how many minutes he's going to play. Been playing very, very well. So I like these 4 guys a lot in a phenomenal matchup. Cam Thomas is a fine dart throw off the bench. Did he get injured? Just didn't play. Maybe they ran an even tighter rotation. Dorian Finney-Smith had a big game because you saw Cam Johnson get into foul trouble. He's still playable, but don't expect that again. And you can't go to the bench because of how tight a rotation they're going to play. So we have Markkanen out. We have Sexton out. Don't know what they're going to do with the starting line. We have Clarkson back. Clarkson at the 1, THT at the 2. Agbaji at the 3, Olynyk at the 4, Walker at the 5 would be my guess. Got to keep an eye on it. Yeah, Clarkson's not going to be on the limit. It's a thumb injury. So I like Clarkson quite a bit in a really good match, but no Markkanen. His usage goes up a lot. Walker Kessler is a great matchup against OKC. I think he's a solid play. I think THT with Clarkson is definitely going to lose a little bit of usage. If he comes off the bench, I have no interest. If he starts, priced about right. Kyle Olynyk gets a boost. Have some interest in him. Wish he was a little bit cheaper, though. And then Agbaji, probably going to start. I don't know if I can go there, though. He's such a low usage guy. But keep an eye on the starting lineup here. My guess it would be the one that I said. Clarkson, THT, Agbaji, Olynyk, and Walker Kessler. So we have SGA back. He was coming back from COVID-19 protocols. We'll keep an eye on if he's going to be limited. It's a really good matchup. Like if I knew SGA was going to be full go, sub 10K, I would like him a lot. But I don't know if he will be coming back from an I guess it was an illness. I really don't know. But keep an eye on that news. Like I said, phenomenal spot, pace up game. If he's not limited, I like him a lot. Giddey's basically overpriced now with SGA back. Same with Jalen Williams. He's not going to have the ball in his hands as much as he has been. So I think he's a bit overpriced now. With SGA back, he's like a 5 to 5.5K player. Joe going to go back to the bench. Hard to go there. Blue Dort's overpriced with SGA back. There's just really not much for OKC. SGA basically, and that's it. So we have a really good spot here. Spurs at Houston. Fast-paced games. 2 teams that absolutely are dreadful and 2 teams that don't play defense. I believe Keldon Johnson will be back. Yeah, will be back. We don't know if Vassell is going to play. Injury management. Branham, we don't know if he's going to play either. So it's really hard to go over right now. It's really, really hard. So Trey Jones started. He only played 25 minutes, so hard for me to prioritize him. Sochan with Keldon back definitely takes a hit. Still think he's fine. Zach Collins in a really good spot. No issue if you want to go there. I think 6.7K is still reasonable for him. Keldon always has a ceiling. I like the spot a lot, so I'm ready to get absolutely torched by him. Keep an eye on if he's going to be limited or not. With Keldon back and then possibly Vassell and Branham, I don't think I can get to Graham. We'll see, though. Katie Bates-Diop, no. Charles Bassey is always a fine value that does have upside. But I don't think we need to go there on this slate. But keep an eye on if these guys, like, If we get Vassell and Branham out and Keldon in, then I like Graham a lot again. Trey Jones would be fine. Sochan would be a very safe play. Katie Bates Diop would be fine, but I think the standout definitely would be Graham. Um, but keep an eye on the news, keep an eye on the starting lineup. On to Houston, they're just not playing their guys big minutes right now, so it's really hard to prioritize anyone on this team outside of Tari Eason. Like they played their guys like mid 20s minutes, so if they're gonna keep doing that, they're obviously, I believe, tanking. So it's hard for me to get to Sengun. It's hard for me to get to Kevin Porter Jr. It's hard for me to get to Jalen Green. I will say KJ Martin has been playing huge minutes of late. If he's going to continue to play over about 40 minutes, I like him. But I think the real standout here is Tari Eason. Jabari Smith's been losing minutes. They've been going more to Tari Eason. Phenomenal point per minute guy. If he's going to continue to play around 30 minutes, he is way too cheap and looks like one of the better value plays on the slate. So if Tari Eason continues to play this much, I really like him for value. Now, will he keep playing this much? I really don't know. But Jabari's losing minutes. Seems like they want to go to Tari, which I agree with. I think Tari Eason is the better player. And I think that'll do it for Houston. Let's move on to the Knicks. So not much. This game's sloggy. One of the most least appealing games on the slate, in my opinion. Randall does nuke in terrible matchups, so if you want to go to him, just a tournament only play. Same thing with Brunson, RJ Hart. They're kind of splitting minutes. Hard to go there. Mitchell Robinson does have a ceiling at 4.9K. Bad spot though. Struggled against Miami. I feel like he'll struggle here. Actually, Robert Williams I think is out, so it's actually much better of a matchup. So I actually like Mitchell Robinson for GPPs. Completely forgot that I believe Robert Williams is out on the other side. So yeah, I like Mitch for GPPs. On to Boston. So once again, sloggy game here. Slow paced. Yeah, I believe Robert Williams is out. Yeah, he's out. So not much here. Like Tatum Brown, they're fine GPP plays. I like Brown if Brogdon's out. He definitely gets a bump. He'll play massive minutes too. If Brogdon's out, I think they'll want to go to Jaylen Brown a lot more. So I do like Jaylen Brown for GPPs if Malcolm Brogdon's out. Marcus Smart at 5'6" seems priced about right to me. Derek White, no. Al Horford with no Robert Williams definitely gets a boost, but once again, very tough spot for bigs. And I think that will do it for Boston. Let's move over to Milwaukee. So I think Giannis right now looks like the best spend up on the slate. I don't really think there's anyone that has his floor and ceiling combo. I think he'll play mid 30s minutes. It's a really good spot against Washington. I always want to target Daniel Gafford, so I'll be doing that here. I think Giannis just absolutely feasts here. So I love Giannis. I think there's a good chance the game blows out, though. Drew, no. Brooke, no. Middleton, no. Grayson Allen, I believe, had like a massive game tonight, but I'm not touching him. So really just Giannis for me at the top with Milwaukee. So here's where things get a little bit interesting. We don't know the status of Kuzma. Tough spot here, but I think if Kuzma's in, I think Porzingis, Beal, Kuzma, they're all fine GPP plays. We'll say. They did play big minutes. This game did go into overtime, but they did play big minutes. Like if Kuzma's out, even in a tough spot, I think 8.9K for Porzingis is too cheap. I think Beal would be okay. Gafford, no, definitely not going there. DeLon Wright, I think is a solid play. He's going to continue to start at the point with no Monte Morris. Think he looks like a good value of 4.9K. And if we get Kuzma out, I think Corey Kispert would start. I don't necessarily think we would have to go there, but would be playable. So yeah, if Kuzma's in, it's probably just DeLon for me. And you can take shots on the main three, but if Kuzma's out, I like Porzingis, I like Beal, I like DeLon, stuff like that. So last game here, guys, and we'll go over Memphis last. On the Clippers, so everyone is healthy. I still think Westbrook is a pretty good play at 7.2K. He's been very well, playing very well fantasy-wise for this team. So I still definitely have a lot of interest in Westbrook. PG Kawhi, more tournament-only plays. Zubac, I believe, is questionable if he's out. Mason Plumlee gets a boost. Like him better if Steven Adams is out on the other side. Got into early foul trouble here. He was on pace for around 30 minutes. So if Zubac is out, especially, I don't know if they'll be able to go small against Steven Adams, but once again, it's Ty Lue. But I like Plumlee if Zubac is out. I'm not into too much else with everyone back. Like Eric Gordon's going to take a usage hit. Batum's going to take a usage hit, probably a minutes hit as well. So, yeah, not too into the Clippers tomorrow, but this is by far my favorite team to target. I'm pretty sure. So, John Moran out, Brandon Clark out, Dylan Brooks out. We have Steven Adams questionable. I don't think he'll play, so let's just assume he's out. Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't think people realize this, but he actually gets a really big boost with no John Morant on the court. So if you guys don't know what this is NBA Wowie. It's just add more funds /NBA/NBA Wowie. Let's look at fantasy rates with Ja Morant off the court. And let's see who has the highest fantasy points per minute. Let's just take a gander. I feel like I'm right here. I feel like I'm right. Why isn't this loading? Hello? Alright, let's come back to this. But Jaren Jackson Jr. gets a boost. I think he's a fine play. Not playing at home, so probably won't get like 10 steals and blocks. But Desmond Bane looks amazing at 7.6K. He's going to have to lead this team offensively. Absolutely love Desmond Bane. Xavier Tillman, if he starts at the 5, with no Brandon Clark to back him up, I think he's going to have to play pretty big minutes here. Solid. With no Dylan Brooks, John Control moving to the starting lineup, I think he looks amazing for value. With no John Morant, Tyus Jones is going to start at the point. He's the best play on the slate. If I was playing 150 lineups tomorrow, Tyus Jones would be in 150 of those lineups. He looks absolutely amazing with no John Morant. You might get some David Roddy with no John Morant. We'll see though. Don't know what they're going to do with the backup point and stuff like that, but yeah, Memphis looks absolutely phenomenal tomorrow. I don't know why that's not loading, but absolutely love Memphis. Jaren's good. Bane looks amazing. Tillman's solid, assuming Adams is out. John Concho looks amazing. Tyus Jones looks amazing. So I absolutely love this team tomorrow. I hope you guys had a great night tonight. And I will talk to y'all tomorrow.